currently, if you look around, all the five big, supporting systems of agriculture, I call them the big five, the meteorological department, the research system, the extension system, the financial services, including credit and insurance, and the marketing network. All of them are facing a crisis of confidence. The farmer is beginning to lose his confidence in these systems. At least compared to the kind of trust he had in them over the last 40 years before that. And new external factors, like for instance, a combination of a number of exclusions and deprivations, like poverty, the manner in which children and women are treated in the country, or the access to elementary things like drinking water, or primary health, or primary education, put together, the very fact that India today stands a very woeful 136th in the ranking of the Human Development Index prepared by the UNDP, itself shows that it's not one issue, it is a combination of issues that has reduced the country's overall ambience to one of exclusion, deprivation, and poverty, and where causes taken for granted in many countries around the world are still major concerns. Therefore, in that atmosphere, especially with new and emerging concerns like climate change, etc., very different things are happening. And there's frequent talk of an emerging scenario of food and nutritional insecurity. In fact, today I found that the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, while patting India on its back for a number of good steps it has taken on the financial front, still expressed a concern over the inadequacy of the number of measures taken, particularly on the food security front. Now, coming back to agriculture, well, you all know, I don't have to tell you, that the transition from capture to culture of food probably represented the most important milestone in the history of mankind. And the Homo sapiens, I think, in the 21st century, owe most of what they are today to the early work done in the field of agriculture, which is why Dr. Siddique and others who were part of the system for a long time will recall Jawaharlal Nehru said that everything else in India can wait, but not agriculture. Obviously, he was very clear about the role agriculture would play in the development of the country as early as in the early 1950s. But I was reading recently something which is written by a gentleman called John Fisher, who is a spatial scientist. He says that by 2050, the world will need 70% more food than it has today, which, according to him, if three things are not changed, for instance, if reduction of waste is not changed, population growth remains as it is, and consumption of animal products does not reduce, then he sees a requirement of about 34 million square kilometers extra agriculture land will be required, which is more than the whole area of the continent of Africa. Now, obviously, we are not going to be able to do that sort of a thing in the world. This is obviously, again, a consumer side perception. In fact, I've been pleading for the last 2 decades in various fora that the agriculture department itself is barking up the wrong tree. Why are we all talking about production and productivity? That is the job of the food department. They should, we've got used to this, old colonial calculation of wanting to produce enough for those who eat. What about the chap who is producing it? He is not interested in yields. He is not interested in the total production. He is interested in just one thing. He wants to make money. His farm should make a net profit. Otherwise, why should he grow anything at all? Okay, you may have a minimum support price, you may have subsidized seeds, you may have various things, but ultimately, is it a profitable venture or not? If the building block of the entire agriculture system, which is the individual farm, if that is failing to be profitable, if it is not a remunerative unit of entrepreneurship, then that answers why people are leaving agriculture and going elsewhere. And I'm not even talking about other factors. Well-meaning good steps taken by the government in other areas, like say the National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme or the National, Food Security Scheme, which are all very, very good. But the impact it is having on agriculture, like one scheme is pushing up the prices of labor. And the other scheme is preventing food from the production from going to the best possible market in the world, because you are storing it artificially, only buying it at MSP, whereas it could fetch a much greater price abroad in the export market, especially if India was to play an aggressive role in the export market, which cannot happen if once in a way you just step into the export market and step out next year and all that. You got to stay there. You got to learn the art of being an exporting nation, like Vietnam or Thailand, which we have yet to do. Therefore, all these are getting together to create a situation where I think the time has come for us only to see that the incomes of farmers have to be protected. Otherwise, it's going to be a very, very dicey kind of situation.